D5 final match here. Not going to be a split deck, straight X ball. 10 minutes on the clock. It's a 3-point mercy rule. The LA Wildcards fighting here to get on to center court from Southern California, and Tropic Thunder from New York. I'm Matty Marshall. I got John Dresser up here from JT Paintball and Rich Telford here to help us call this match. Jumping into the first one, it's going to be Tropic Thunder. They're going to be in the gray from the blue side, and then the red and white and black. The Wildcards from Southern California, they're from the red side.
Is New York known as a tropical place, Matt? Is that why they call it
I thought
Tropic
the
Thunder?
same thing when I heard that. I'm like, yeah, it's Staten Island. Tropic Thunder makes complete sense. Well, with all the hurricanes running through these days, you know, you never know.
4-on-4, Matty.
Yeah, 4-on-4 situation. So, John, JT sponsors the team from New York, correct?
100%. Not just that, but they're big JT fans. If you look at it, they're rocking all sorts of stuff from all through the years.
All the throwback stuff?
Yep.
That's cool because we're big JT fans as well.
So you're saying they have $2,000 on their heads?
They actually have $16,000 worth of gear there.
You laugh, but you might not be too far off.
No,
That's another guy.
Yeah, I know. Told my wife, I'm like, do not touch this stuff. She's like, it's just in this bin. I'm like, yeah, but it's worth a lot of money, so don't touch that stuff.
Yeah, when JT was closing, I went through the attic, and there was just tons of stuff, and I didn't take anything. You know, I didn't really think about it. I was like, I don't want a bunch of old dusty stuff. I wish I had that stuff now. Wildcard's got one player left, wheeling and dealing over there in the instant cake.
This in the 50 Snake. This is Yost that just got shot. He is the captain of the team, I believe.
Might be down to 1-on-1, John.
Oh no. They just gave that away. No, there's a second guy with Doritos.
There's 2 bodies left alive right now for Tropic Thunder.
Yep.
Boys from New York here trying to close this one out, put the first point on the board. Again, 10 points on the clock. It's a 3-point mercy rule, not split deck. So we're going to have 2 minutes in between points trying to finish this last player out.
Yeah, LA Wildcard play with a lot of pressure.
And going to take him out. That's a nice little trade here.
Yep.
If you're in a 2-on-1 situation and you can for sure trade out with that one, then do so, because then that's going to be an easy point for you.
Outcome.
So Tropic Thunder played double duty. They also just played 5-man, and I believe some of the same players are playing on both rosters, jumping back and forth.
Yeah, when you love paintball, you want to play as much as you can, man.
Trying to get
nothing wrong with that.
You're going to make the trip out, right? Might as well get as many points in as you possibly can. So, John, how you doing, man?
Very well. It's been a little bit of a crazy year and a couple changes. So,
how's JT doing?
It's selling faster than we can make it.
That's what I like to hear.
No, that's not a bad problem to have.
Don't call it a comeback. They've been here for years, guys.
Not a bad problem to have. It's not like demand's going to go away, just because you can't pump them out as much. Again, it creates the scarcity. So, yeah, I think it's a good problem.
As you know, I'm a huge fan of the legacy and the legend of JT, and you guys helped create that. You guys were definitely there for some of the glory years. And
my first
now,
sponsor.
Yeah, now my first sponsor as well. So it's fun to see it, and it's fun to be part of it, and it's fun to make it happen once again.
Make it cool again, yep.
Yeah,
keep it up.
It's just so fascinating that if you create a product like the Spectra, the ProFlex, and when they made it, I don't know if they're trying to make the best product they can, but did they realize it would be that iconic and still be an awesome goggle system and still being used at the top level 25 years later?
I can't imagine John Gregory did, but at the same time.
No, he did. He told me.
Oh, okay.
He's like, Rich, I'm making this for future generations. I was like, thank you, John.
It was cool to get to know John Gregory, and he used to have this test for his goggles because, they shoot ball bearings through, an air system in order to test the lenses and make sure that they're of quality and be able to withstand a paintball blast. Because if you can take a heavy ball bearing, but that's not how John used to do it. John used to set a Spectra up on a post and shoot it with a 12-gauge shotgun.
I remember.
And if it could take a 12-gauge shotgun blast, then it's definitely going to take a couple paintball hits.
So
that Lexan's very potent. It's a really good substance.
Looks like we have 3 guys breaking out Snake side again on the Tropic Thunder team.
Snake on the break for LA Wildcards. Tropic Thunder going all the way into their cube on the break.
Yeah,
Wildcards losing one drill side, Matt.
Yeah, another body dropping here for the Wildcards early. Thunder's taking control of this. Here comes a huge move. We're always looking away to give.
Red flag on Thunder.
Yeah. That's a tough break for him because that looked like at least a beautiful move before the penalty.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful with those.
He didn't know the Snake was looking inside, so Snake caught him as soon as he came around the box, but he did get 2.
Desperation run out for Tropic Thunder as they get to Snake 1, and then a body dropping here for the LA Wildcards trying to get into that 50-yard line.
Wow, big turn back and forth here. Now, Tropic Thunder blowing down the drill side of the field, Matt. I believe it's a 2-on-1 again with Wildcards only having 1. Yeah, in fact, one of the Gummy Bears playing for the Wildcards being eliminated there in Snake 1. And again, Tropic Thunder going to win with 2 bodies left alive here, Matt. 2-0.
That was a roller coaster back and forth.
Yeah, that was. I thought that penalty for sure was going to be the coffin nail for him.
They had enough bodies left alive, Matt. Luckily, they had enough bodies left alive out there because I think they had 5 guys.
Isn't it weird sometimes how that works out, where the penalty will actually not hurt you, even though it's a major, just because of the chaos it causes, and you get a couple more kills off of it?
I guarantee you, when you're the captain of the other team, you're like, oh, no, we should get that one, right?
Yeah, so going to have, again, 2 minutes in between points, but Tropic Thunder is 1 point away from the Mercy Rule win.
This whole day's been a roller coaster. Watching the two best teams
this year has been a roller coaster.
Get eliminated.
This whole weekend, really, right? Level last night.
Yep, you're completely right. Level last night, Level's 5-game win streak starting at the last event.
Well, John, you've been around for a very, very long time. Not to date you.
You can just say very long time.
Yeah, very. Well, just okay. Well, but it is kind of 2 varies. You know, I mean, it's been
or 3 varies.
A couple generations of the game, but you know. All year long in the past season or 2, we've been talking about how competitive the Pro League has gotten. As we're still going to see Dynasty and X Factor play for the final, but Revo made it a story, Level made it a story, Energy Elite and Energy Elite and Level both made it to Sunday for the first time ever. We kept talking about how competitive Pro Paintball has gotten. I don't think it's ever been this competitive with this many teams having a chance to make Sunday and actually potentially win an event.
The big word is parity. We keep hoping for those lower division teams or lower ranked teams to do better and better and be more and more competitive. And this was definitely the most parity I've seen in a pro event possibly ever. So it's fun to watch it, and it was fun to see Revo finally step up. They've been a little underperforming this year. See X Factor again back in their groove, but the flip side of that is Heat and Impact just not getting it done.
And that just really, you have to tip your hat in respect to Revo, because they were able to knock out Impact and knock out Houston Heat in a row.
I walked up to Henry Sense right after they got knocked out and said, whoever wins this owes you guys a gift basket.
Yeah, that's a legit point.
That's very true. So see if Tropic Thunder can seal up this victory here. They're on the blue side of the field. Not a good break for them, though, as they lose both bodies here from this snake side. So there's nobody on this side of the field for them.
And only one body looking this way.
And the Wildcards have 2 bodies in the snake and 1 going up in the center. They're gonna the Tropic Thunder boys are gonna be losing 2 more.
Concede.
This is amazing. This is a really good point here for the LA Wildcards to finally get on the clock or get on the board here. The clock's sitting at 7:10 to go. They have time to work with. It's gonna be a 1-point game now. Yeah, so Rich and I were talking, John, and we were just kind of wondering when we were going to work out try to figure out how we're going to get those old school excessive Matty Marshall, Rich Telford jerseys out there in the world.
I think that's something that we have to do.
Got to figure it out.
Me too.
Honestly, that's, as you know, it's another thing that I really enjoy is just jerseys and the old stuff and the retro stuff and just watching it come back around, and honestly watching a lot of guys that used to play get back into it. So
yeah, I think that's super cool too. I'm enjoying seeing a lot of guys I haven't seen like 15 or 20 years at the big games and at the 10-mans.
Oh, I think it also these older guys that are getting back into it, kind of bringing their sons and daughters into it.
Yeah, super cool.
That's really cool too. But I think that's that's driving up the price of some of these the antique pieces, because you get guys that didn't have jobs when they were 16, 17. They're living like paintball bums. But now they're in their mid to late 30s. They got some money. They have jobs. They got families, and they're like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to pay $1,000 for this head wrap. I don't care, because I wanted it when I was young, and now I can't get it, or now I can get it because I can afford it, and I earn the right to buy this thing now. So it's you get enough of those guys.
Nostalgia is a hell of a drug.
It really is. It's great though, but again, that's just a really cool thing. I mean, obviously a jersey you can wear it, whatever, but the Spectra, I mean, that's that OG design back in the day. And there's obviously just, so many good goggles on the market right now, and a lot of companies pumping out some really beautiful product. But just, it's just a really cool thing to still see.
I had a friend that hadn't played with the Spectra, with the ProFlex goggle in a long time, put one on recently and just said, I can breathe.
Yeah.
So
I can yell. Hey, I don't know if you heard, but Matt and I are now coaching out of Puerto Rico almost solely.
Rich is really pushing us hard no one's actually talked to him about it yet. He's just throwing it out into the world.
Rich is a leader.
I'm bringing it into the universe for Matt and I.
John, I did find a Huntington Beach 07 goggle strap in my stuff. I don't know if that's worth any money, but
I'm sure.
I did find that in a bin somewhere when I was trying to find one of my jerseys.
You'll probably get a text about it before this webcast before this match is over.
Yeah, I was like, my wife's like, what is this? And I'm like, let's keep that to the side, because that might help Monty's college fund.
Is Tropic Thunder only starting with 4, Matt?
Maybe, yeah, it looks like only for maybe a penalty assessed or maybe get a body out. Must have been a penalty.
I didn't see a penalty.
I didn't see a penalty either.
Now with only 3.
So Tropic Thunder was really having a good go of it here. They were 1 point away from a Mercy Rule win, but now starting with 4, they lose a body down to 3, and it's not looking good for them here. LA Wildcards trying to move up the field here.
But Tropic Thunder does get out snake side alive.
Yep, but he's got 2 players in front of him.
He's willing to wheel and deal over the top.
He gets killed down the tape, gets the Gummy Bear guy out. He's got 1 more player right in front of him. See which one of these guys is going to get.
That might be a penalty.
Gets and gives a little extra, but no penalty.
3 on 1 here.
Letting them play, and here come the Wildcards pushing up back on the snake side with a big bite. Makes it past the 50 here. Looks like it's Brent Hardwick. I really like the jerseys here for the LA Wildcards. And they're going to wrap around, get a kill there. So the Wildcards on the D side and here on the snake side. 2-2 with 6:12 to go. We definitely have a game. So forget about that Mercy Rule that Tropic Thunder almost had, because now tie ball game. So do you have anything coming up right now for JT, John?
All sorts of things about
anything you can talk about?
A little.
Sure, there's some secret stuff that you're
mildly
working on.
allude to, maybe.
Yes.
We've done they have the JT gun, the JT goggles, JT loader,
settle down.
JT pack, JT travel line.
So the Tropic Thunder guys are wearing the new Odyssey jersey, which honestly, I know this is a little bit sacrilege, might be the best jersey JT's ever made. So
that's a bold claim.
That's a bold claim, but JT's always been on the leading edge of jerseys, and this is one I really like.
And what do you like about it?
It's the reinforced forearms. It's got a perforated material, so it's very breathable. It's got the gauntlets on it. It's just a well-made.
Breathable and how it feels is super important to me.
Super important. Obviously, we all went the way of padding in jerseys, and now we've all gone the other way.
No, I think you need to throw it way back, John. I think you need to go back to the cotton jerseys that look beautiful, but once you've washed them once.
One-time use.
With no padding whatsoever.
One-time use.
As thin as a T-shirt.
Yeah. That's why they're
but
so
they
rare.
Looked amazing.
That's why they're so rare.
Especially before you washed it at first.
Yeah,
that's that one-time use.
Yeah.
So, but you guys saw a couple different limited edition Pro Flexes already. There will be more of those. So those are in the works as well. And then the JT actually has a chunk in the works.
Wait, a what?
A chunk, a bunch.
Like a large,
chunk.
A large quantity of different items.
I like it. I'm trying to lay it out for the people out there so we can solidify and clarify some things. And
if
John,
you can't follow my babble, then I'm sure they can. I appreciate the clarity.
No, I grew up with JT, knew that in every single incarnation it's had, and it's just cool. It's still alive. So thank you for keeping the fire lit.
Yeah, I heard they just made their first best jersey ever.
So we got about 20 seconds to go. Tie ball game right now. Tough to even call this one, to be honest, because it looked like all Tropic Thunder. Wildcards finally woke up, realized they're in the finals here. We are in the D5 finals. We will get back into split deck for the D4 and D3 matches coming up next here.
Tropic Thunder has all 5 alive this time.
Yeah,
thank God for them.
But Wildcards did go 3 snake side. They lose their first player on the Dorito side, Matt.
Tropic Thunder player getting checked at the can.
That's smart, though. That'll save him the penalty if he does have a hit. So 5-on-4 advantage here for Tropic Thunder. Oh, Tropic Thunder with a big move to the Dorito side 50.
Ooh. Just noticed this, though.
Oh, Tropic Thunder loses a guy off the snake side, though.
So I just noticed this, but there's a player playing in a Gummy Bear jersey. And the Gummy Bear, maybe just commentator cursed him as he takes a walk off. But the Gummy Bears are an incredibly legit squad from Southern California coming to ASG in a little outside of LA. And it looks like, the bomb goes off on the Wildcard side of the field.
That
and
Gummy Bear's been having a hard time living.
Yeah,
so
he's been playing the second guy in the snake. He's been snapped out 2 or 3 points in a row.
Maybe he borrowed the jersey.
Yeah.
No, he's probably one of those guys. I mean, they have a lot of players on that team.
Well, so it looks like it's Julian Velasquez, but playing for the Gummy Bears. But the Gummy Bears is one of those teams that I wish they'd come to more big national events because I think they'd be relevant.
They're real good.
They're really good. Some of the Gummy Bears actually played on the ASG All-Stars at our open event in Sacramento and with Blake and Mike Urena, and they made it all the way to the finals.
And looked really good.
It's a really good team. And there was a HK event that we went to during the COVID break in the middle of summer out at ASG. It's a great paintball park. If you guys haven't been out there, they got a great training facility for, they have amazing rec fields for big game or recreational side of stuff, but they have a cool training facility with turf for tournament players as well, too. But I was very impressed with the Gummy Bears. We also have a little bit of an online rivalry, more of them talking to me about it and me talking about it during shows, because I just think that the Gummy Bears is not the most intimidating name in the world. But their argument to that is that, but when you get beat by a team called the Gummy Bears, it's going to be very embarrassing, which I'm like, hey, I totally understand
You say that. We're about to watch Shut Up, We're Trying in a minute here.
It is funny though, and it's you see these divisional teams come out kind of with like beer softball names.
Yep.
We have this thing in San Diego. It's called Over the Line, OTL. It's been an institution for probably about 45, 50 years now down at the beach in San Diego. ESPN came to them, but they have names I can't even actually repeat because I don't want to get emails from moms. But it's pretty X-rated. It's very rugged. But ESPN actually came to them when they were looking for content. They're like, hey, we'd love to put you guys. You have to change all your names. And they were like, absolutely not, kick rocks. We're just going to continue to do our thing once a year at the beaches of San Diego. But that's kind of what it reminds me with some of these names that come up through the divisional ranks.
In all fairness, you come from a long line of tough team names with the Iron Men. And
I am a little biased. I'm definitely a little biased for like give me a tough name that when they hear it and we're good, they're going to be intimidated by it.
Whereas I played with Farside, which is literally named after the comic.
Yeah.
But Farside's still a good one though. It's memorable.
Wow, Snake on the break ran as tall as he possibly could, but nobody shot him. Both teams, Snake on the break, both teams dropping one early on the drill side, Matt.
And both straight into S3.
Yeah, right now, Tropic Thunder up by 1.
2 players in the Snake now for Tropic Thunder.
4 minutes and 50 seconds left to go. Yeah, Wildcards need to tighten things up a little bit here. Couple early deaths for them, but they also shoot
nice
the body
snapshot.
Too. Yeah, they're shooting some bodies. This is a very evenly matched game right now. Another body coming off. Yeah, they're just trading blows here in this D5 X-Ball final.
Only one
Tropic
left
Thunder's
alive.
in trouble here.
Yeah, Tropic Thunder with only one body left alive.
Wildcards pushing up on the D side. Here comes a big move from Tropic Thunder, trying to roll the dice. Not the highest percentage play here. Looking at the bodies he was looking at, but it's not going to matter as we have Velasquez able to save the day here. Again, guesting with the Wildcards from the Gummy Bears, but Wildcards now going to tie this one up here at 3. Back and forth seesaw battle here.
It's a good one.
This is a good one. Yeah, look, it doesn't matter what division it is. Occasionally we see pillow fights out here. This is not a pillow fight.
Not a pillow fight
field.
Interesting
one. No, it's not a pillow fight field.
Or we see one-sided battles.
Yeah, just blowouts. Which is not fun either, right?
No.
This has been pretty much amazing paintball all weekend so far. The weather's been pretty wild. And the teams that usually struggle are doing really well. And the teams that usually do really well are struggling. So a lot for everyone to learn out here. Get ready for Cup.
And it's a crazy field that I don't think anybody completely figured out. I think everybody has had weak spots on it or weak moments on it. Often you see an Impact or a Houston Heat be dominant all the way through.
Usually,
we haven't seen that.
Usually you see that. Not this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, so we have X Factor. They did drop a game. Dynasty is undefeated. Dynasty didn't lose any matches. They went 4-0 in the prelims, taking down the Russians and ML Kings on day 2, day 1, defeating AC Diesel and the Ironman pretty handily in all those matches, a couple closer than others. They gave up some points. Ironman had a good fight against them. Diesel had a good fight. Diesel put up 4. Dynasty had to score 7 unanswered to win that one. They beat up on the ML Kings. And then beat up on the Russians pretty solid. Then Dynasty kind of beat up on Energy Elite and then had a good game against Infamous. Dynasty has been dominating a little bit more than San Antonio X Factor, but that's still a toss-up because X Factor looked really good against Revo and they looked really good against Level. But, Level, it's their first time here on Sunday, and Revo had basically hit a wall. I mean, Chris Shear couldn't even play the last game. He collapsed in the pits.
He left.
Well, he
was match.
Yeah, well, no, he collapsed in the pits, I guess, with heat exhaustion or something. Something he just had played so many points, he couldn't do it anymore. And then we saw guys limping off constantly, and they hit a wall. They hit a wall when they got to X Factor. That was their 4th match of the day, and they had already defeated Impact and Houston Heat, and they just didn't have enough in the tank.
Revo had a hard road with having to play that final game from yesterday.
The hardest road you could possibly have,
and having a short roster as well, right?
Yeah, I mean they barely made it in too. Yeah, short roster. They lost the level.
Funny enough, when Revo lost this morning, they thought they were out.
Yeah.
They didn't understand the rule correctly. And
I feel like
they had
nobody
their stuff
did.
packed.
I feel like
nobody
Damage
did,
didn't either. Half the league was over here waiting for Trojan to figure it out.
LA Wildcards dropping 3 on the break, guys. Only 2 players left alive, both in the center of the field, the center tower, and the inset wedge.
Disastrous turn of events here with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left. That's going to force a quick concession here from the Wildcards.
Good concession from the Wildcards, coach. That was a good idea.
I was going to ask you who you guys thought and had in this match thought was going to win between the Wildcards and Tropic Thunder when it was tied 3-3. And I mean, I guess I could ask the same question, but obviously I think everyone's going to pick Tropic Thunder right now with a 1-point lead. Not a ton of time left. Do you think the Wildcards can come back, Rich?
Yeah, easily. I mean, if they shoot 1 or 2 on the break, yeah, giddy up.
I'm obviously biased. I'm obviously rooting a little bit for Tropic Thunder here.
Of course. You still playing some paintball out there, John?
I still play most weekends, to be perfectly honest.
Really?
Yep.
Awesome.
I got to play this
what
layout.
Format? Like how are you playing? You playing some X-ball? Playing a little mix of stuff?
A little mix of stuff. Basically, I just jump in on the local team's practices, and so I got to play this layout both weekends, and just see how brutal it was.
Have you shot in that new 6-star paint?
Yeah,
I hear it's amazing.
That's top secret.
Oh, so I wasn't supposed to say anything?
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Only
sorry.
X Factor's supposed to know about that.
Gotcha.
So again, I'd like a couple cases of the 6-star shipped to my house, please. That would be really nice. Got the paintball to play coming up here pretty soon.
It's actually been fun all weekend. Anytime you get a weekend where there's no paint complaints and a lot of compliments, it's a good weekend.
Yeah. Well, making paintball it's an art, right?
Naked paintball?
It's black magic.
Making paintball.
Oh. It's not an art.
Naked paintball is your fantasy, Rich. Of course, can you just keep trying to summon your fantasies into reality? But yeah, making paintball is definitely very difficult. I've been to multiple paint manufacturing facilities over time and talked to the people that create it, and it's really interesting to listen to them talk about it.
Opie is a mad scientist up there in Montreal, but it is a little bit of black magic in my mind, but at the same time, they killed it for this event.
It is also, because again, with the Gummy Bear name, I talked to one of the guys that was working on the formulation at the facility in Montreal when I was up there doing some work for Procast back in the day. And he told me that the formulation for a paintball shell and the formulation for Gummy Bears is very similar.
Well, one tastes a lot better than the other one. Oh, terrible breakout for Tropic Thunder, guys. They lose one. They lose a second one. The second one doesn't go out. It draws the penalty, so 2 on 5.
Yeah, is there something going on with this side of the field, the red side right now? Because it seems like there's landmines out there on the left-hand side, the red side of the field.
Yeah. It's been kind of a common occurrence all week, and this has been a little bit more of a dangerous place to be eliminated. More often than not, you take somebody with you.
Well, Tropic Thunder took second place in the 5-man, so hopefully they can pull this one out and
So you gonna
win.
jump him?
What's up?
You gonna dump him?
Oh, hell no.
With that kind of performance? You kidding me?
No. Are you kidding? They've won almost straight through. I don't think they've, due to our contingency, when you win, you don't have to pay for your paint. I don't think they've paid for paint this year.
Cool.
Good job, guys.
Pretty good.
Right?
That's a pretty good one.
Do they have any spots available?
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, they have done exceptionally well all year, so it was no surprise to see them in the finals with both squads once again.
Well, and also a little bit of an incentive to play really well if you don't have to have a paint bill at the end of the tournament.
It's definitely the goal.
It's just like getting paid, right? Not having to pay out is just like getting paid.
Yeah, so now
what is it? Was it 5 points, Matt, here? 5-point mercy?
It's a 3-point mercy, but we're not even anywhere close to the mercy rule, as it's 4-4. I mean, at one point in time, I believe it was Tropic Thunder that had a chance to put the Wildcards away, but they couldn't do it after scoring the first 2. And then it's been the Wildcards stomped back into it. It's been kind of blow for blow after that. Got about 55 seconds before the start.
Been some fast points, too.
Yeah, lots of fast points.
The whole weekend.
Yeah, that's why we couldn't get day 2 done on day 2. We had to, which for the second time that I could remember.
Is it only 2 times?
Well,
that's not bad.
There was, so Vegas, it depends, except for like Galveston, where a hurricane comes through and destroys the entire event.
Or Tampa.
That one was rough. But it was 2020 in Vegas that we had a similar situation. It's early on in the year, not a lot of daylight to work with. And then the Ironmen, I can't remember who they played, but they had to go. I think it might have been Revo. They had to play their game, but that was on Saturday. This time it was going to be Saturday. We couldn't finish, and we had to finish it on Sunday.
Have you seen any teams that were able to slow this field down?
Not really. I mean,
not successfully.
We had a couple games that went 3-4.
But that's because
there was
because it was a 3-on-3.
Yeah, that's the point. So
both teams playing slow.
There was intentionally burning a lot of clock off, where one team would be right by the buzzer waiting to hit it, and the other team refusing to hit the buzzer.
Yeah, but that doesn't count. So I talked to Joey Bloop before the event started, Damage's coach, and asked him, because Damage obviously sometimes likes to play it slow, and asked him if it was even possible, because I'd gotten to practice or goof off on this layout twice, and I didn't see how it was possible. And Joey said, "You can do it." And I was unconvinced.
He's always my the litmus test for slow play. And I do the same thing. I go and ask as many people as I possibly can find and talk to about how the field's playing, from the pros, the captains, or the coaches and the players. And then I always try to find Joey Bloom, like, okay, how slow can this field play? And he said it'll slow down on Sunday. He's like, but it's an incredibly fast field. But then when they started to have some issues, and Rich, you said that you talked to him. He said, I'm trying to go out and score 45-second points right now.
Yeah, Holiday especially. Holiday's like, I don't want to play this field slow. He's like, I want to win or lose these points in 45 seconds. And I think that's just conducive to the way this field's played, man. Wildcards taking a big break. Dorito 1, Snake 1 on the break. Oh, but look at that. Tropic Thunder all the way to Dorito 50 on the break, guys. That's a huge move.
This can definitely be the match or the point that decides the match.
Wildcards getting into the Snake with 2 bodies.
Well, it could, though, guys, but such quick points, you never know here.
You never know.
But possibly, definitely, the win potentially at stake. 4-on-4, and here comes Tropic Thunder going to be diving into the Snake. They're on your screen, goes right into Snake 3.
Painful.
Yeah, they also have a body already in Snake 1, and then they're going to be making moves on the D side as well, too. They're at the 50-yard line with 2:41 to go.
Yeah, that player in the 50-yard, there's got to be careful, because this player goes forward for the Gummy Bears guys. Goes forward on Wildcards and looks across. He's going to get the kill crossfield in that 50 Dorito. If either one of these guys on the 50s look at each other, they can shoot each other across the field, and it's a huge...
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is. He's like, hi, friend. Hi, friend.
I mean, he got shot a bunch on his back, but here comes the move. Counter move over here on the Snake side. Jumps over the top and kind of clears it out a little bit.
Is it just 2 left for Tropic Thunder?
Yeah, 2 on 3, I believe.
Yeah, 3 bodies for sure for the LA Wildcards. 4, actually. No, there's one hiding in the back corner.
There's always hiders out here. Up 1 on 4 now for Tropic Thunder. Oh, he got shot, though, off the bounce shot, Matty. Oh, 2. There's another guy in the corner, so it's a 2-on-2 now, Matty.
What a seesaw battle.
2 on 3.
As the Tropic Thunder retakes that 50-yard line on the D
right,
side.
Can't keep up.
They're getting shot too fast for you to keep up.
Yeah, I feel like we're calling hockey sometimes out here.
This back center guy does not know where they are.
Wildcards now get into the 50-yard line here on the Snake side, trying to rip their gun towards the D side, but that player for the Tropic Thunder boys going to get past the 50. He's got to be very careful. Might be getting shot in the back. Player here for the Wildcards completely has that whole side of his body, and then he's going to get that kill in on him. No, his one more body on that side. The towel going to be thrown in here from Tropic Thunder. The Wildcards going to be going up by 1 with 1 minute and 18 seconds left.
Flying V.
You think they go right to a staggered attack here at 1:18, or kind of get a little bit of a feel for it, maybe shoot a body on the break, and then go to reckless attack time?
Like you said, 45 seconds is kind of the normal, so they have enough time for a regular point.
They do
on this field.
For a standard point, but they can't chill in their bunkers for very long, though. If you don't get that first kill and you're down by 1, you can't get kind of sucked into that sense of complacency, like, I just want to win this gunfight. I got to win this gunfight. And then in 10 seconds, all of a sudden, you get desperation mode.
And if you don't take enough real estate early in the game, you might not be able to get enough real estate later in the game once those zones have been established. Yeah, I think you at least go into your into the brick, into the wing, if not into their brick, into their wing, and then support that obviously down each tape.
Tropic Thunder hasn't been shy about taking that 50-yard line Dorito fast.
Yeah, he's just got to kill those guys once he gets in. He got in there early, he just did not capitalize once he was in there.
And then they also weren't shy about taking the opponent's brick. So we've seen a couple different attacks aside from the typical go straight into the Snake 50.
Yeah.
Getting a little scared about the daylight. It's already 3 o'clock. We still have quite a bit of games to go here.
We'll just wrap it around until tomorrow morning.
We
again,
have
right?
4 hours of daylight left. It's going to get dark at 7.
4-day event. Finishing Monday afternoon.
Are you talking about World Cup already? We are in the D5, so we still have to get through 2 more split decks, and then we get into the match that we're all waiting for with X Factor and Dynasty.
20 seconds. Timeout.
And timeout's being called.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Perfect.
Way to think about yourselves.
That's what you get, Maddie. As soon as you said that we were running out of time.
We're in trouble.
Sorry, guys. It's all my
We're in
fault.
trouble.
It's the commentator's curse.
My bad.
At least you're
Apologies.
owning it. At least you're owning it. Wildcards, Tropic Thunder. Wildcards a little advantage here. 1 point lead. About a minute left in this game. Minute and 45 seconds. Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it is up to the boys from New York to try to push in the guns here from Southern California crew, LA Wildcards. And they don't have a ton of time, but quick points usually dictated by bodies dropping on the break or reckless staggered attacks where you flood a body out towards the D side or snake side to draw the guns and then run the racket up the center. So we will see.
Been Thunder's biggest problem, Maddie, is losing bodies on the break. I think if they're 5-on-5, you know, they're super aggressive on both tapes.
Yeah.
But when they're down on bodies, it's tough.
And both Thunder and Wildcards have lost a lot of bodies, either off the break or
quick looks
very quickly. But we're in D5. Look, this is where
starting with 4.
This is where you start out. So not expecting these guys to be gunfight masters quite yet. Not really going to knock guys for dying too early, too much. This is what it is here down in D5.
So Tropic Thunder once again on the left, but one guy getting shot off the break.
Wildcards also losing a player. Yeah, 4-on-4 advantage here. I do like the fact that Tropic Thunder's got 2 guys on the snake, although they lose their first guy.
Another body coming off for Tropic Thunder, looking good for the Wildcards here. And there goes the chaos in the snake as that's going to clear out his size. We hit the minute mark, so looking good here for the Wildcards as it should be a 1-on-2. Where's the last body left alive? He was in there, so that should do it here, unless Tropic Thunder probably should concede this point because it's going to give LA Wildcards 6, but at least with 45 seconds left, they might have a chance. Yeah, it's going to make the set longer, but if they still want to have a chance, I mean, they might just have given up at this point, but because that's
happened.
So now they're going to concede the point.
No, they didn't concede. They hit the buzzer.
Oh, did they? So there was a body left
alive.
alive.
Body alive in the snake.
So Tropic Thunder running.
What just happened?
Yeah. So
Wildcards was just sitting over there burning the clock, not hitting the buzzer.
So where was that body then that we lost?
It must have been this guy here in the snake.
50-yard line. Yeah, there is. Yeah, there's a big camera tower in front of that spot.
Hey, at least that's the first time that's happened to us this weekend, Maddie. It could have happened like 5 or 6 times easily, maybe 10.
Yeah.
When he shot out their S3, I thought he traded.
Well, we might then have an overtime point. Then it's
we might have a replay
5.
too. If Joe in the booth could get us the replay, that'd be amazing.
Well,
we're not paying attention.
Yeah, no. So
because we're not paying attention clearly.
So it's going to be 5-5 with barely any time left. It would not shock me if we have an overtime period here, as both teams maybe not wanting to risk it with. This is interesting, though, because sometimes when you have 25 seconds left, one team will go conservative and one team will go full court press offense. And a lot of times that full court offense works if the other team goes 100% conservative. That's not normally how it goes, and most teams in a low time situation will just play to overtime. But in the pro division, every now and then, enough to make it a point of conversation, you will have a team try to steal the win, and they do it.
With the big fear being a penalty.
Yes, that is, John, I'm glad you brought that up, because if you get that major penalty,
less than a minute.
That's then the torturous situation, but that does happen quite a bit.
We'll be here at less than a minute, so.
Well, I don't know. This is a tough one to call. John, John, we'll start with you. What do you think? Obviously, I think you're going Tropic Thunder.
Obviously.
You're biased.
They were down by 3.
I totally, okay, so then, Rich, give me an unbiased opinion. LA Wildcards, Tropic Thunder, momentum, skill-wise, who do you think is going to take it?
Wildcards, I think, have been playing a little bit better, surviving the breakout a little bit better. Momentum might be on the side of Tropic Thunder, though, after that, crazy last point.
That's a good point, because if you think you're about to win the tournament,
they were cheering
they were cheering, and then all of a sudden, that's not what happens.
Big break for Wildcards, running 3 here, snake side, leaving nobody in back center. Releasing all the way to that snake, all the way through to the cube. LA Wildcards with a big bite. I don't know why he went with that big a bite. They didn't need to. Losing 2 on the break. Tie game here. 30 seconds left.
Let's see if Tropic Thunder can capitalize or if we go to overtime. Yeah,
this is a good opportunity here for Tropic Thunder. 5-on-3, but they can't just sit there. Let that 50 snake execute everybody. Only 1 player left on LA Wildcards, but not enough time left. Only 17 seconds.
That's enough time.
I don't know. He might be getting it. As they go back and forth, he runs out of bounds, though, for Tropic Thunder. There's still 7 seconds left to go.
5.
Oh, no. Okay, so we were a little off on the clock, but game time finished. We're going to be heading to an overtime point. It's not getting any closer than this here. D5 final match, all locked up at 5. Tropic Thunder From New York, taking on the LA Wildcards.
They're delivering. It's an entertaining match.
Yeah.
Were you guys watching the clock at the end of that game?
I was.
It went from 13 to 7 to 0?
Yes.
Is that the way the clocks work where you come from?
That's where how the clocks work on the webcast sometimes when we don't get to see the real clock.
I can't keep up. Things are going too fast.
Yeah, and just so everyone knows, we have an electronic link with the scoreboard, and that's
sometimes
it is what it is. So
sometimes it goes down, sometimes it goes up. Doing the best we can here.
I always think of the one on the webcast as an approximation of time, just like in soccer, how the time left isn't real. It's how long the referees calculate. So you don't know exactly
it's
when
some amount of time.
It's some amount of time.
Well, this is good though. Both of these teams fought really hard in this match. They deserve this overtime point. One good point to go out and see who's going to win this match.
So what do you think, Rich? Conservative, breakout, or go for it?
I think you have to go for it. I think you have to go for it on this layout. And I think you have to go for it based on the fact that both of these teams lose bodies quickly once they get to their bunkers. So the longer they're in those bunkers, the more chance of you having to go for it down on bodies.
Yeah, and also when you look, we're down in Division 5, and so their off-the-break shots are not going to be as dialed as when we watch the rest of this afternoon's competition. So I think you can take a little bit of a bigger risk because some of these guys running around here taking these front spots are really athletic.
For sure.
I'm watching Superman dives, they look really nice.
All the way to the 50.
Yeah, I mean, they look like they know what they're doing, they look like they've been practicing their dives. So I think risk it as well too, just based on how this field's been playing, because your team has a massive advantage if you're at the 50-yard line snake, and if your opponents go conservative and they don't take much ground, and you can move up the field a little bit, particularly on the snake side, it is huge.
Well, and on this field, Matt, if you take the risk and get into either of the 50-yard lines, there's a huge payoff, right? A lot of fields, there's not that huge payoff. It's not worth it to take the risk to this 50. But if you get to either one of these 50s with these soft corners, you can wrap and kill people. So it's worth it to take the risk and get out there. Both teams going snake 50 on the break. I'd like to see that. Both teams 5 alive here. Good little joust there. Both players leaving from snake. 4-on-4 now.
Yeah, so both teams did go right for it, and there's the chaos that sets in here on the snake. So who is going to win on these aggressive moves? The Wildcards there on your screen here in overtime, and they're going to coast right into the 50-yard line. Tropic Thunder kind of in a tough spot. He's at snake 2. Not the great position.
Hard to get his gun up to be able to gunfight the guy in front of him, right, Matty?
Yeah, not feeling a ton of pressure inside, though, as they're not too far up on the D side quite yet. He's going to lose his teammate behind him, and it is not looking good for Tropic Thunder.
No.
Velasquez here in the snake.
On the snake,
Velasquez better hope he doesn't have a hit on him, because if he does, he's going to draw a penalty.
Yeah, Velasquez, he's in a position to help win this game here for the LA Wildcards.
So only 2 left for Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, back center, Dorito 1. 4 players left for the Wildcards. Now into Tropic Thunder Snake. Shooting crossfield there. Trying to put pressure on that Dorito 1. Back center's dedicated. Now looks snake side.
He has all the time in the world to work with. There's still 3 minutes.
Oh, Matty.
47 seconds left to work with.
2-on-2, Matty.
That's terrible deaths. Did you see was it a penalty?
It had to be a penalty.
So 2 bodies walking off for the Wildcards.
And both the Wildcards in the snake.
Mr. Bucket Hat here is going to back up Velasquez.
I don't know if Bucket Hat knows that Dorito 1 is hot, man.
I don't think Dorito knows that.
Yeah, you got to keep the count, but it's going to be a 1. Oh, now looks like Michael Adams, a.k.a. Bucket Hat.
Oh, come on, guys.
And is going to finish it off here in overtime. So this was a very entertaining match.
Yeah, for sure, right? Back and forth.
Yeah, lots of deaths coming from all over the place. No real huge standouts. I mean, I feel like a lot of... Oh, yeah.
And he popped.
Hey, Velasquez earned that puke right there as he went off here on the snake side of the field.
Literally leaving it all on the field.
Yes, and some of it is still over by that home bunker.
More for the ref.
Desk pop.
Oh, did he get
Desk pop.
Oh, we might have another one.
Desk pop.
Might have another one.
He's like, I don't want anybody to see this. I'm going to go hide over here.
That's smart, man.
No, Velasquez, you're fine. No one
go
sees
to where
you
we have
puking over here.
cameras.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, hats off to him, though, because he played amazing for them. Left it all out on the field, literally.
It's better to puke as a winner than puke as a loser.
Amazing job from Velasquez and Adams over here on the snake side. Congratulations to the Wildcards. So we're going to take a quick break. Thank you guys so much for joining us here. We're going to get into D4, D3 coming up next at the 2020